They laughed when he said it. He works at a grocery store. 7 men in tuxedos, shiny glasses raised mid-toast. The laughter was clean, effortless, the kind that fills a hall and lingers too long. My wife's brother, standing proud in his tailored suit, smirked like a man who believed status was currency. I smiled, just enough to keep the peace. The music kept playing, people kept drinking, and my wife, Anna, didn't even glance at me. She was too busy adjusting her brother's boutonniere, laughing at something one of the bridesmaids whispered. I excused myself, walked out into the cool night. The laughter still echoed behind the walls. Then a man approached, tall, clean-cut, sharp eyes, the kind that don't blink much. "Mr. Anderson?" I turned. "Yes." He nodded once. "I'm your head of security. Shall we leave?" Security. The word didn't fit the night, or the role they thought I played. I watched the hall through the glass doors, the warmth, the light, the expensive illusion of belonging. Then I looked back at him. "Let's go." We walked into the dark together. It started months before the wedding. A misplaced text on Anna's phone. "You're still wearing his ring?" She said it was a joke, a friend teasing. But there was no humor in the tone, no smiley, no irony, just words heavy with something private. That night she came to bed late, smelled faintly of cologne that wasn't mine. I didn't ask. I learned long ago that asking breaks the spell too soon. I'd rather observe, record, remember. People reveal themselves if you give them enough silence. So I waited, watched. Her smiles became careful. Her eyes, busier. Phone always flipped upside down. Her laughter changed pitch around certain messages. And then there was her brother, Daniel. New car, new suit, new arrogance. Always lingering near her when he thought I wasn't watching. Whispering things he thought I couldn't hear. I started to notice the way Anna's body stiffened when I entered a room. Not fear, guilt. A subtle difference but unmistakable. The family began treating me differently too. Less welcome, more tolerated. The polite smiles had an edge now. Then the wedding invitation came, with my name misspelled. A joke, apparently. That's when I decided I would attend. And let them laugh. The grocery store wasn't a lie. It was a cover. People like Daniel didn't know that the store was a subsidiary, front-end operations for something far larger. A security firm. Private contracts, discreet clients, intelligence work hidden in plain sight. I managed digital forensics, quietly, legally enough. So when my wife's laughter began to sound foreign, I did what I do best. I traced patterns. Her GPS logs showed recurring detours on Thursdays, hotel parking lots, anonymous locations on the outskirts of the city. Always the same 2 hours, always the same message before. Running errands. Her email backups revealed deleted messages, images, coded phrases, one name recurring more than any other, D. Daniel, of course. But proof is a delicate thing. I needed more than suspicion. I needed silence backed by evidence. I hired one of my own men under a fake name, engagement party photographer. His lens caught more than smiles. He caught gestures. Her hand brushing his arm, his whisper against her ear, her glance toward me to make sure I hadn't noticed. I noticed. I noticed everything. So when the best man approached me tonight, introducing himself as head of security, it wasn't confusion I felt, it was confirmation. They thought I was ordinary, a man small enough to mock in public. They were wrong. 2 weeks before the wedding, I had the data compiled. Hotel footage. Bank transfers, encrypted messages decrypted, a digital thread connecting Anna and Daniel in ways no brother and sister should ever share. The night before the ceremony, I sent Daniel an email. No text, just a single attachment labeled, "Invitation accepted." He didn't respond. But his eyes avoided me during the rehearsal. His laughter came forced. Anna's hand trembled when she held mine. Now, at the reception, surrounded by people who believed they knew the story, I watched him stumble through his speech, watched her laugh too loudly at every line. When he said, "He works at a grocery store," The hall erupted, and I smiled because the real show hadn't even started. I walked out into the cold air, waited until the best man found me. "Mr. Anderson, shall we leave?" he said. I nodded. The files had already been sent. To the venue's AV manager, to the family group chat, to the press. By the time I reached the car, I heard it. Gasps, screams, the hollow silence of realization. Truth plays louder than laughter. She found me in the parking lot, makeup streaked, eyes hollow. "How could you?" she whispered. "How could I?" said quietly. "You should ask your brother that." Her knees buckled. The sound of her sobs echoed between the cars, raw, breaking. I felt nothing. "Please," she begged, "you don't understand. I understand perfectly." She reached for me. I stepped back. The diamond on her finger caught the light. I remembered how proud she'd been to wear it. "You said you loved me," she said. I did. I looked at her for the last time. Really looked. The woman who once felt like home now looked like a stranger wearing her face. Then I handed her something small, a folded paper. Divorce draft, signed. "Give this to your lawyer," I said. "Where will you go?" she asked, voice trembling. I gave a faint smile. "I'll go to work." The night air was quiet again. No music now, no laughter, just the hum of the engine as we drove away. My head of security glanced at me in the mirror. "All executed as planned, sir." I nodded. "Good." In the distance, the venue lights flickered. The perfect wedding collapsing under the weight of its own secrets. I leaned back in the seat, exhaled slowly. The anger had burned itself out days ago. All that remained was stillness. People think revenge feels like victory. It doesn't. It feels like silence finally earned. I opened a window, let the wind cut through the calm. The ring was still in my hand. Cold, heavy. I dropped it out into the dark. And smiled. Not the polite kind this time. The real one. Because for the first time in months, I wasn't the embarrassment. They were. Sometimes you don't need to ruin people. You just need to let the truth stand beside them and watch what it destroys.